I'm really honored to be invited to speak to you all. What you see at the back is our house, the home in which we live in a village called Devdungri, which is in Rajsamand district of Rajasthan. It's on the National Highway number 8, which connects Delhi to Udaipur. But we live as our forefathers must have lived many, many years ago. Nothing much has changed, and in that village, living there in the last 24 years, we have learned all over again how village realities have to be reassessed and understood, and how things have to be shaped. And people have taught us again how to comprehend that reality and how to go ahead with real, genuine planning. And it's in that house, beyond this little gate, sitting on a little wooden, mud-plastered platform, which we call an angan in Hindi in northern India, that we realized that we must ask to see the panchayat records in 1993-94. Because we were battling with facing the government telling us all the time that we were liars, and we wanted to establish that we were not lying, and how could we do it? It was not from minds of Nikhil Dey and Aruna Roy, who have been to various universities and colleges, but Mohanji, Lal Singh Ji, Narayan, people who live in that area, who said that if these records don't come out, we'll always be liars and they must come out. And that's how the battle for right to information began, got articulated. Mahatma Gandhi, when he came to India after South Africa, traveled extensively all over India before he formed his national agenda. It's because he listened to people that I think every political strategy that he planned was so fantastically correct that nothing could have worked better than what he did at that particular point of time. And we, of course, born in this country, realized that what he said was of immense value. But I am also a student of English literature, which is unfortunately the subject I did when I was a postgraduate student in Delhi University. And then I read a lot about what Lord Macaulay had to say about the cultures of the East. This man who gave us this educational system, which we've all gone through, whether we like it or not, said that the entire knowledge of the East deserved only one shelf in the British Museum, that it was not worth it, and that we really had to be taught everything in life. And it's his system of education, which came to this country many years ago, which actually came to make sure that we didn't become bigger than ourselves, and that we were kept in place, and that the system would not make us ask questions, but become quiet absorbers of information that were given to us, that we still follow. And no independent government in this country has changed that particular system. But he also brought in 1925 something called the Official Secrets Act, which was again necessary because the colonial administration had very few foreign officers. Most of them were Indians. So people working, whom we affectionately call babus, and also curse them like anything, and babudam is a curse in modern India. If you say anyone's a babu, then it's a clerk, a clerical person who uses red tape more to refuse than to give. So in the case of these babus, they had to be kept in control, and they had to be, they had to ensure that they didn't reveal state secrets. So they enacted a law called the Official Secrets Act, which is there in South Africa, which is there in all the British-ruled countries in the world, in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, in Sri Lanka, wherever they ruled, there was an Official Secrets Act. It's against this background that many of the historic happenings that happened from this house actually happened. And Mazdoor Kisan Shakti Sangathan, Mazdoor means worker, Kisan means a farmer. And all these poor people who live in this area where it's only a rain-fed crop that we get in Rajasthan have to work, no matter whether they own 2 bighas of land, or that is half an acre of land, or an acre of land. They can't live off what comes off the land, they have to work. So Mazdoor Kisan Shakti Sangathan was formed in 1990 with people's participation, and the name was given by people. And it was 100 people who decided that this organization should be formed, because we had won a land battle before this, in which all the local upper caste rulers, erstwhile rulers of Rajasthan, the Rajputs, got together to really take away what was surplus land. In India, there was a law which said that any land which was more than a certain amount, if people owned more than that amount of land, the surplus land was surrendered to the government. But this particular man in a village called Sohangad, Tal, felt that this land which was surrendered was still his. So if you grazed your cattle on that land, you had to give him half the milk from your cattle. And he was quite horrendous, and this was 1987. It was not 1947 that the situation held. But when we got control over that land and got access to that land, got it allotted and made a social forestry there, that the people felt that they had to organize, otherwise they wouldn't get anything, and this began. There is the Narmada Bachao Andolan, there is the Fish Workers Forum, there are many such organizations in this country, and we are only one of the many that are such. Now, how did we use this whole concept of a people's organization for doing what we did? Actually, I'm going to talk basically about the opportunities and challenges offered by the right to information in transforming governance and making government more democratic, deepening democracy. And in this whole thing, formal education has given us very little help. Because I come from a background which is Indian. Nikhil has even studied in the US. And there are many people who come and go from abroad, but the ideas are really generated from local people. And the whole business of transformation in India, of social transformation, has not come from the educated middle class in the last 50 to 60 years. All the movements that have come, which have looked at transformation, whether it's Dalits, whether it's women, whether it's rape, which was Bhauri Devi's famous case in Rajasthan. She was a working woman, an agricultural worker from the OBC community, or whether it has been issues related to big dams, though Medha's name comes up in front, like my name or Nikhil's name may come up in front. There were those tribals and those patidars who fought against that big dam and what it did to them. So wherever you go, there are people who have fought in this country for ethical politics.